Today we'll be creating a model of this part, which was one of the homework problems. And there's nothing really new as far as what we've covered modeling so far, with the exception of this oblique plane right here. We're going to have to create a construction plane in a little different way than what we've done so far. So to begin, I'm going to open a new part in SolidWorks, and go ahead and do that. We're going to start by sketching in the front plane. Let's go back and look at that at the part again, and you can see that across the bottom we've got 1, 2, 3, and if we go project all the way to the bottom corner, I'm going to just draw in some lines to help us visualize that. So if the bottom corner wasn't cut away, the total width here would be 6 units, the total height would be 6, it's 3 units this way, and it's 2 units that way. So modeling in the front plane here, we're going to select the line tool and create the basic shape of the part. So all the lines are horizontal and vertical, except of course for our one diagonal line that represents the inclined plane on this problem. Let's put units on, our dimensions on here. We're letting 1 inch be one grid block from our isometric drawing. And so we were 2 units up here and 3 units across here. Okay, so there's our basic shape, which we now want to extrude to a depth of 4 units. And since the part's not going to be symmetric, I really don't care which direction that we do the extrusion, so we'll just go forward a total of our 4 units. Okay. Now we want to draw the hole, and we could either do that in the right plane or on the back surface of this part, whichever we prefer. That actually would be, this back surface is actually the front plane. So if I click on this back surface and go to normal 2, I'm looking straight in at the part, and I can go ahead and add the circle to create that hole. And so our diameter is 2 units. The circle is 4 units above the bottom, so if I just click once on the circle and once on this bottom edge, the Smart Dimension tool always dimensions to the center of the circle, which is what we want to do, and then to center it side to side, I put in another 2-inch dimension here. And so now we're ready to extrude that circle with an extruded cut all the way through the part. Okay, and let's go ahead and orient this in the isometric view so we can see that it sits the same way as it does in our drawing. And we can also display it in wireframe with the hidden line shown, and so we can see that again we see the hole looks like an ellipse in both of these surfaces when we're in the isometric view here. So the only thing we got left to do is to make this cutaway down here in the bottom, and as I said, that's the only thing really new about this part. And we need to create a plane, and the easiest way to define this plane is we can see that because, let me go back to the part drawing again, you can see that we're 1, 2, 3 units from the back, so we're actually at the midpoint of this front edge. And also for the right edge, 1, 2 units, 2 units that way, so we're at the midpoint of this edge right here, and also we're at the vertex right here. So those 3 points can be used to define a plane. Now we're kind of lucky in that regard because SolidWorks does have midpoints defined here. If those weren't at midpoints, we would have to make a sketch of some sort, probably a 3D sketch in which we would place the points precisely where we wanted them to be able to fit a plane through those points. So I'm going to go to Reference Geometry and pick a plane. Now most of the time when we've done that, we've picked an existing plane or an existing face and we've offset it. So in that case we'd only need one reference. Because we're using 3 points, we need to have 3 references. So the first point is the vertex here. Then I'll come along and get the midpoint of this edge and the midpoint of that edge. So those 3 points define a plane in space, and I hit the check mark to create that plane. With that plane selected, let's go normal to so that we're looking straight in. Now in this case we're looking through the part to the plane, so if we click normal to again, it flips it around 180 degrees. And actually I'll go back to the shaded view so you can see that's the way we want to look at this. And we'll sketch in line segments, and beginning at the center point here, going to the vertex here, to the midpoint of this edge, and back to create a closed region. And now we can simply do an extruded cut through all, and our part's completed. So we probably want to show this in the isometric view again. There we go. And since we don't really need this plane anymore, we can do it in one of 2 ways. We can turn off the display of all the planes right here, or if we simply wanted to hide that plane itself, we could just click and hide right there. Either one of those will work. So let's finish up by showing this in the wireframe with the hidden edges shown so that we can compare that to our drawing, and we'll see that this is the part as designed.